With 28 top flight titles, 12 FA Cups and 6 European Cups, Merseyside is one of the most successful counties in English football. But who are the top 10 teams in Merseyside right now? Well, today I'm going to show you. So today I'm going to cycle to the top 10 teams currently playing their football in Merseyside. Now obviously there are going to be a couple of Premier League stadiums that might be familiar, but this top 10 goes all the way down to tiers 8 and 9, so you're going to see some surprises in there. How are the teams ranked? Well, simply it's down to their position in the entire football pyramid based on their league tier and position in that league as it was on the morning of Saturday the 11th of September 2021. To keep things less predictable and to maybe make my route a little bit easier, I've not visited them in the order of their ranking, but I will update this handy little table as we go along. Anyway, let's get cracking. As you can see, we're at the seaside, so let's head across to the first club in the list. So I am here outside Southport Football Club, the 4th best team in Merseyside right now. They're playing in tier 6 of the football pyramid, and that's in the National League North. They're currently 19th, so they've not had the best of starts to the season, but hey, onwards and upwards. Southport, affectionately known as the Sandgrounders, were formed 140 years ago and have been playing non-league football since 1978, when they were controversially voted out of the Football League. The newly elected team that replaced them was none other than former Premier League side Wigan Athletic. How history could have changed had the vote gone the other way. The majority of their recent history has seen them yo-yoing between this division and the division above in the National League. Southport's biggest accomplishment to date is winning the Football League Division 4, now known as League 2, back in the early 70s, and more recently they've won the league that they're in now on 2 occasions. Well, that's pretty much it for Southport, so let's get back on the road and move on to the next one. Well, I always end up on an off-road path, and today it's a coastal path going through the sand dunes, so it's pretty hard work. Yeah, I'm not moving in this. Oh. Well, after an hour of cycling against the wind, I've now arrived at Crosby Beach. So the next ground is about a mile away, I think, but the good news is it's a ground share, so I get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The tide's coming in, so I better not leave my bike there too long. Let's get back on the road. Alright then, I'm here at Rossett Park, home to the 5th and the 9th best teams in Merseyside right now. The 5th best team, Marine, were formed in 1894 and are named after the hotel where founder members of the club met on Waterloo seafront. Their former manager Rolly Howard is actually in the Guinness Book of Records as the longest serving football manager, with a 33-year reign from 1972 to 2005. They received quite a lot of media attention in last year's FA Cup when they reached the 3rd round and played Tottenham. Due to the pandemic, no crowd was present as Spurs romped to a 5-0 win. However, thanks to some clever thinking by the club, over 30,000 virtual tickets were sold for the match, giving them a bigger windfall than they ever would have had. Marine have spent their entire history as a non-league club, but they've won plenty of silverware at this level along the way, including the FA Amateur Cup and the Northern Premier League. Right, over to number 9, AFC Liverpool. They were actually playing at home, so I managed to catch up with chairman Chris Stirrup, who kindly gave me a brief history of the club. Apologies for the audio in the next clip. Due to the wind, I've had to edit it quite a bit and it now sounds like I recorded it on a potato. There are other interviews to come at some of the other clubs along the way, and they're all fine. Anyway, Chris began by telling me that the club was formed in 2008 by people who were pretty much priced out of top flight football.
It came about when the Premier League decided they wanted to introduce a 39th game, which still hasn't gone away. And that kind of showed that football was more to do with generating money than it was to do with people who were we're interested in going to the match. So we decided to make our own football club where you can just decide to go to the match on the day of the game and make it as affordable as we can to people. So we set the price of the season tickets and the tickets in 2008, and then because we're member-owned club, they decide how much it costs, and since then we haven't had any price increases at all.
And who are you playing today?
Today we're playing Charnock Richard in the FA Vars, first round qualifying. We played Charnock Richard on Bank Holiday Monday, just gone from at their place, so we drew 2-2. So today is there'll be a winner, so we'll go straight to penalties at the end. So
Fancy your chances?
Yeah, we were a better team than them last time out, but our mistakes cost us, so we can iron out the mistakes and keep our focus. Who knows?
Wicked. Thanks very much. Alright, so it's match day here and kick-off's in about an hour and a half, so it is getting pretty busy around the ground at the minute, so better get on to the next ground, and the next stop is Litherland. Okay then, we're at Liverpool Sports Park, home of the 10th best team in the list, and that's absolutely nothing to be ashamed of because they are in the list. Like AFC Liverpool, Liverpool were playing at home, so once again I managed to speak to the club chairman to find out a bit about their history. To kick things off, I had to ask a very important question. We're here with Chairman Don Rimmer of Litherland. The first question I want to ask you is, how do you say the second part of your club's name?
You pronounce it Remyca.
Yeah?
R-E-M-Y-C-A. We're known locally as the Remy.
Yeah?
But it's Remyca, Litherland Remyca. Back in the day in 1959 when we started the club, we used to train out of Bootle YMCA. So it's an amalgam of the YMCA, and also there was a social club on Stanley Road in Liverpool which was called the Rem Club. So hence Remyca.
It's the merge of the both.
A play round with the letters and a merge of the both.
So I've just come down here and it's match day. Who are you playing today?
We're playing Wythenshawe Town from over in Manchester, and it's the prelim round of the FA Vars.
Confident?
We haven't had a great start to the season. These are a very good team. We'll have to be at it, but we'll give it our best shot.
Brilliant. And just to let you know, you are the 10th best team in Merseyside as it stands based on the football pyramid.
With performances on the pitch, I'd question that. But let's see if we can, let's hope you've brought us a bit of good luck and we can do the business today.
All right, brilliant. Best of luck today. Thank you.
Thank you.
As the chairman just said there, they've not had the best starts to the season, but hopefully things will get better for them. All right then, another one down. The next stop is not too far away, just over a mile away to Bootle. See you there. And so, we're halfway through the list and we're at the 6th best team at the time, Bootle. They're playing their football in the 8th tier and started the day just a couple of places above the team who are in 7th. Again, without sounding like a broken record, Bootle were playing at home, so yet again, I managed to have a chat with the club chairman about the history of the club. While there certainly was a good atmosphere gathering around the ground before kick-off, this interview might make it sound like there was a full house of about 30,000. Putting it simply, the clubhouse was right behind me and showing one of the Premier League games. So I'm here with Bootle chairman, Dave Miley. Dave, can you tell me a bit about the history of the club?
Yeah, sure. So Bootle was originally formed in 1880. We were one of the founder members of the Football Alliance. We eventually dropped out of the league and were replaced by Liverpool Football Club. This actual incarnation of Bootle was reformed in 1954 under the guise of Langton Dock. We eventually became Bootle in 1972 under Frank Doran Senior. You'll see his pictures over the far side of the ground there.
Yeah.
And since then we've been playing. We've played in the Shipping Leagues, the Liverpool Leagues, the Cheshire League, and then the North West Counties League. And at the moment we're currently in the Northern Premier League West.
Is that the highest you've been for a while, or?
It is. We've spent a lot of our time in the North West Counties League.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were fortunate enough to get promoted last season.
Right. So as it stands right now, you're the 6th best football team playing the football in Merseyside.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to be the 5th, to be honest with you, or maybe the 4th. But you know, It won't take long, hopefully, to get up there.
Yeah. And who are you playing today?
We're playing Newcastle Town today.
Fancy your chances?
I hope so. We're level on points at the moment,
Yeah.
so hopefully we'll get a win.
Good luck.
Cheers, thanks very much.
No worries, cheers Dave, thank you. Well, Bootle have been amazing. They've given me a complimentary programme, so in return I picked up a couple of golden goal tickets, so hopefully, you never know, my luck might be in and I might win myself 40 quid. But anyway, I need to get moving to the next ground, but I've just snapped my charger cable and I'm down to about 20% battery, so I need to go and get that sorted and then we'll head on to the next ground. And a little bit of a spoiler alert, I need to use a little bit of public transport for the next one and you'll see why. Sorted. Well, typically I missed the ferry by a minute, but I did stumble across a couple of newlyweds getting their wedding photos taken in front of John, Paul, George and Ringo. All this while a busker played Beatles songs in the background. What more do you want? Anyway, plan B. Okay, I am here at the third best club in Merseyside right now. That's Tranmere Rovers and this is Preston Park. Now, Tranmere are playing away to Rochdale at the minute, so the ground is absolutely dead. So we'll take a quick look around and then we'll have to head back to the train station so we can get the final 3 or 4 teams left in this list. The only team on this list based on the other side of the Mersey, and the reason why I took public transport to cross the river. It would have been an extra 67 kilometres to go around, and that's just one way. Anyway, formed as Belmont FC in 1884, Tranmere has spent the vast majority of their history as a Football League side, with the majority of this time being spent in the second and third tiers of English football. In the not so distant past, they had a fierce reputation of being cup giant killers, with many Premier League teams being dispatched by them over the years, including one that's on this list that we've not yet visited. More recently, Tranmere's fortunes have been a little bit by the wayside as they slipped out of the Football League and then struggled to get back into it. Successive promotions would eventually follow before once again they suffered relegation back to League 2 in a highly contentious points per game ratio when the season was curtailed early due to the COVID-19 pandemic. As a team that's generally made their way up through the leagues via the playoffs, their only notable title is a third tier league championship back in the 30s. However, many might not know this, they are also FA Cup winners. Yeah, that's right, they won the Welsh FA Cup back in 1935. Okay, that's enough for here. Gonna head back to the train station and back over the water and head to one of the big ones. And we're back on the other side of the water once again. I am starting to run out of time now, so I am going to get a move on and head to the next ground, so let's go. Well, there's a little clue of where we're heading to next. Stop number 7 and I am here at Goodison Park. The oldest club in the list and the second best team in Merseyside right now, Everton. Founded 143 years ago in 1878, Everton have played a record 118 seasons in the top flight. They started life playing at Anfield, home of Liverpool, before moving to Goodison Park in 1892 following a disagreement over rent. That very same year, Liverpool were formed. Okay, so just jumping in to interrupt myself, I somehow managed to lose a load of the Everton footage when I was transferring the files across, so I've had to fill the rest with some old footage. Anyway, back to Everton. They're now in the final years at this great stadium as they finally move away from Stanley Park and to a new state-of-the-art stadium based at Bramley Moor Docks on the Liverpool waterfront. They'll be heading over there in the next 3 to 4 years, which will bring the end to a very long era. Domestically, Everton are decorated at the highest level with 9 top-flight titles, the last of which coming in 1987, as well as 5 FA Cups and 9 Charity Shields along the way too. On the European stage, they'd won the now defunct Cup Winners' Cup in 1985. Okay, there's Merseyside's second best team right now, Everton. But we can't stop, we need to keep moving, so next stop, Anfield. Now, come on, you didn't think I meant that Anfield, did you? No, I am here in Anfield and I'm here at the home of Lower Breck. Currently the 8th best team in Merseyside and the 2nd best in Anfield. The guy who works here has just shut everything up, so there's not a lot to see here. But we'll have a quick look around the back and then we'll move on to the slightly better known stadium around this neck of the woods. And from the oldest club in the list to the youngest club in the list, Lower Breck were formed in 2010 as a youth team. A couple of years later they became an open age club, merged with the famous Grapes Football Club, and then fast forward another 8 years later, with no less than 5 promotions along the way, they find themselves the 8th best team in Merseyside. They've won a string of local cup competitions, but their standout trophy is in the form of European honours, where they won the 2013 Rheintel Trophy in Cologne, Germany. And after that short but sweet stop at Lower Breck, we were just a couple of minutes down the road from our penultimate stadium of the day, Anfield. And here's your number one. Yep, Liverpool are currently the best team in Merseyside based on their current league position. Now Anfield's a pretty quiet place at the minute because not actually playing, so I'll give you a quick whiz around the ground on a bike, give you a little bit of history, and then we will head to the final point and the final team of today's journey. Formed in 1892 and originally named Everton FC and Grounds Limited, they were formed following the dispute over the rent of Anfield with Everton. The FA refused to recognise the team as Everton and thus Liverpool was born. They entered the Football League in 1893, playing in colours very similar to Blackburn Rovers, and in fact, the first time Liverpool played in an all-red kit was only in 1964. They've been in the top flight for 59 consecutive seasons, and it's fair to say they've won a lot in that time, making them one of the most decorated football teams in Europe. The list includes 19 top flight championships, 7 FA Cups, 8 League Cups, 15 Charity Shields, 3 UEFA Cups, 6 European Cups, 4 European Super Cups, and 1 FIFA World Club Cup. Alright then, that's it for Anfield. Now we've got one more stop to make, so let's get on the road and make our way towards Prescott. As I was heading towards Prescott, I couldn't help but notice that my route was taking me to somewhere else a little bit familiar around here. If you know, you know. And if you don't, then this is just a load of random houses. Anyway, let's crack on. And last but not least, I'm here at the 7th best football team in Merseyside right now, Preston Cables. And for the final time today, Cables had just finished playing at home, so I managed to have a quick chat with their co-chairman, who kindly told me about some of the history of the club. Right, I'm in the shed end at Preston Cables with co-chairman Matt Roberts. Just going to ask him a couple of questions. So Matt, can you tell me a bit about the history of Preston Cables?
Yeah, so the club was founded in 1884. We've been here since 1906. There's a lot of history with the club. It's a very old club in terms of football. In the non-league pyramid, it's been around for many years, but people seem to forget a bit about non-league. It's obviously, in terms of the ages of clubs, it's more about the Liverpools and the Evertons, but yeah, people are starting to realise non-league football a bit more, which is good for us.
Brilliant. Did you know Preston Cables are currently the 7th best team in Merseyside as of the start of this morning?
I did not know that, but I do now, and I'm delighted to hear that, and obviously grateful to have you here and having a look around the ground. So it's been good to have you here.
No, the pleasure's all mine. I just rocked up last minute in the day. Like I said, I've been to all the other teams, but really grateful to get in.
Save the best till last.
Save the best till last. And who are you playing today and how did you get on?
Yes, it's been a tough game today. So we've been playing Ramsbottom, who we're not sitting well in terms of results at the minute. They were 3rd or 4th in the league, but yeah, we've beat them. It's been a very, very good day for the club, very good result for the team, and it's great to see the atmosphere in the club today as well. I think the attendance was 407 or 402 off the top of my head, which is great for this level of football.
That's fantastic. Matt, thanks very much.
No problem. I'd just like to present you as well with just a little coming along. A little
oh mate, that's
little scarf. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, just to say thanks for coming along.
Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Right, well that's all the clubs for today then. A special mention needs to go to the City of Liverpool Football Club, who, whilst they've got Liverpool in the name, currently they don't play the football in Merseyside. And that's why they've not made the list. Today I'm going to cycle to the top 10 teams currently playing their football in Merseyside. Slightly controversial, I know. However, if I go and do a Cheshire version, I'm sure they will appear in there. And there you have it, the top 10. When I first planned this trip, it was literally just about getting to all of the 10 teams, but it's kind of developed into an advert for non-league football. And do you know what? That's not a bad thing at all. There are so many non-league teams around and they're the beating hearts in their communities. It's a good day out, and as you've seen, you'll always be welcome. So I just want to say thank you to all of the clubs for the hospitality that they showed me without any prior notice whatsoever. Anyway, it's been a long day of cycling. I think I've done over 90k. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you support any of these clubs, leave a comment below, let me know what you think, and yeah, I'll see you again in the next one. Oh, and if you were wondering, I didn't win the golden goal. Bootle scored in the first minute. Thanks for watching.